Thank you. Thank you. And welcome back, everyone. You know, we get letters, emails, DMs. We get messages from all over the world every single day. People sharing their stories, their triumphs, their heartbreaks, their deepest, most personal conflicts. And we read them. I read them. Because at the heart of everything we do here, it's about story. It's about the human experience in all its messy, complicated, and often painful glory. And sometimes a story comes across my desk that stops me cold, that I can't stop thinking about. It's not just about a disagreement or a simple feud. It's about identity. It's about perception. It's about the very foundation of what we believe a family is supposed to be. Tonight, we're talking about one of those stories. It involves a woman named Anna Johnston. Now, many of you may know Anna and her family from their time on this very show years ago. You saw the arguments, the tensions, what seemed like a family working through its issues under the bright lights of television. But what you saw, according to Anna, was a carefully constructed illusion, a performance. And the aftermath, the real life that happened when the cameras stopped rolling and the audience went home, was, in her words, a living nightmare of isolation and manipulation. Anna Johnston is making some staggering claims. She claims that her mother has actively, systematically, blocked her own siblings from contacting her. She accuses the show, and shows like it, of orchestrating fake drama, of pouring gasoline on smoldering embers just for the sake of ratings. And most painfully, she is revealing what it was like to grow up as the family's designated black sheep. The scapegoat. The one who carries all the family's dysfunction on their shoulders. This isn't just a story about a family fight. This is a story about truth, about narrative, about the scars that form when you're cast in a role you never auditioned for, in the story of your own life. So, let's talk about it. Let's really break this down. Because Anna's story, it echoes in so many households. It's a whisper in the back of so many minds. Am I the problem? Or is the problem the role I've been forced to play? Let's start with the most immediate, the most practical of her claims, the blockade. Anna says her mother is the gatekeeper, the firewall, standing between her and her brothers and sisters. Now, on the surface, that sounds extreme, right? In this age of hyperconnectivity, with a smartphone in every pocket, how can one person possibly prevent a group of adults from communicating with another adult? But it's rarely about physically blocking a signal. It's not about snatching phones away. This is far more subtle and far more insidious. This is about information control. This is about narrative warfare. Imagine this scenario. A sibling sends Anna a text. It's a simple, "Hey, how are you?" But they don't get an immediate reply. Life is busy, right? Anna might be at work, driving, putting a child to sleep. But then, the mother calls that sibling. "I was just thinking about Anna," she might say, her voice heavy with concern. "She's in one of her moods again. I tried calling her, and she just snapped at me. She's so angry at the world. It's best to just give her space. You know how she gets." That seed is planted. The lack of an immediate reply is no longer just a lack of reply. It's evidence of a character flaw. It's proof of Anna's anger. The mother positions herself as the concerned, long-suffering matriarch, simply trying to manage her difficult daughter for the good of the family. She becomes the sole source of information, the interpreter of events. So, when Anna does reply, hours later, with a cheerful, "Sorry, was in a meeting. I'm good, how are you?" that message lands on soil that has already been poisoned. The sibling reads it through the lens their mother provided. They see not cheerfulness, but sarcasm. Not a simple delay, but confirmation of her moods. The communication feels off, strained. So, they pull back. They follow their mother's advice and give her space. This cycle repeats. A missed birthday call becomes a deliberate snub. A political opinion shared on social media becomes a targeted attack on the family's values. The mother is there every time to provide the commentary, to connect the dots into a picture of a volatile, ungrateful, and hostile Anna. And then comes the triangulation. This is the key mechanism. The siblings aren't talking to Anna, they are talking about Anna through their mother. "Mom, have you heard from Anna? She seems upset." And the mother gets to control that narrative completely. Oh, she's lashing out again. She said some terrible things about you, but I don't want to repeat them, it would only hurt you. It's better if we just stick together. She creates a united front against the perceived threat, which is Anna. The siblings, wanting to avoid conflict, wanting to believe their parent, and perhaps even relieved that the family's tension has a single, contained source, fall in line. They don't call Anna to ask for her side because they've already been told what her side is: anger, blame, and hostility. This is how you build a wall without ever laying a single brick. You build it with whispers. You build it with misinterpreted silences. You build it with manufactured concern. The gate isn't locked by a key, it's locked by a narrative. And Anna finds herself on the outside, screaming into a wind that carries her voice away from her family, while her mother's voice is amplified, telling them, see? She's always screaming. Now let's turn to the second, and for us, the most uncomfortable of her accusations, that the show orchestrated fake drama. That we are puppeteers of pain. I'm not going to stand here and pretend that television is a documentary. It's not. This is a production. We have time constraints. We have commercial breaks. We have to craft a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, all within a 42-minute time frame. Real life doesn't work like that. Real family conflict is a slow, grinding glacier. Television needs it to be a wildfire. So, what happens? A producer sits down with a family member before they come on stage. It's a pre-interview. They ask, so, what's the main issue with your sister, Anna? And the person might say, well, she can be very stubborn, and she never calls me back, and I feel like she thinks she's better than us since she moved away. The producer, trained to find the conflict, to find the emotional core, might ask, and how does that make you feel? When she doesn't call, does it feel like she doesn't love you? Does it feel like a rejection? They are digging for the emotion. And in doing so, they are often providing the language for it. The person, who may not have articulated it in such stark terms, suddenly has a new framework. Well, yeah, I guess it does feel like a rejection. That phrase, that concept, is now planted. It's top of mind. Then, on stage, under the hot lights, with an audience waiting for a revelation, the host, a host like me, will ask the question. So, when Anna doesn't call you back, does it feel like she's rejecting not just you, but the entire family? The person, nervous, feeling the pressure to provide a satisfying answer, now has that language ready to go. Yes, it feels like a rejection. It's like she doesn't love us anymore. Is it fake? Not exactly. The emotion is real. The underlying hurt is real. But the specific, sharp, televisable wording of that hurt was often facilitated, guided, and framed by the production process. The drama isn't necessarily orchestrated from whole cloth, but it is amplified. It is condensed. It is sharpened into a point that can pierce through the clutter of everyday television. Then there's the editing room. This is where the true orchestration often happens. We film for hours. We talk about the weather, we share funny stories, we have moments of genuine connection and understanding. But we can't show all of that. We have to show the conflict. So, the quiet moment where two sisters hold hands and acknowledge they both had a tough childhood that might end up on the cutting room floor. The explosive 30-second argument that happened right after, that's the opening clip for the entire episode. The narrative is built in the edit. The hero and the villain are often created not by their entire body of work, but by which sound bites are chosen and how they are arranged. Anna claims she was set up to be the villain. And in a sense, she might be right. If her role in the family was the black sheep, then that is a clear, definable, and dramatic role for television. It's a character. And television loves a character. So, we took a pre-existing family dynamic, the black sheep narrative, and we gave it a megaphone. We put it on a national stage. We cemented it. What might have been a private, fluid, sometimes negotiated role within the family became a public, fixed, and immutable identity. We took a label that was written in pencil, and we traced over it in permanent, indelible ink. And that brings us to the heart of the matter, the most painful truth Anna is revealing, what it is actually like to be the family's black sheep. It doesn't start with a big event. It starts small, almost imperceptibly. You're the sensitive child, so when you cry, you're dramatic while your sibling is passionate. You're the curious child, so when you question a family rule, you're defiant while your sibling is assertive. You are the mirror that reflects back the family's insecurities and dysfunctions, and because that reflection is uncomfortable, they blame the mirror. The family system is like a solar system with parents as the sun. Everyone has a gravitational pull, a role to play that keeps the system in balance. The achiever, the caretaker, the clown, the peacemaker, and the black sheep. The black sheep's role is crucial, though no one will ever admit it. Their role is to be the receptacle for all the negative emotions, the shame, the anger, the disappointments that the family cannot process or acknowledge within itself.